to create e-blasts, right? And specifically with kvCORE. Now, I don't want you to worry if you are a real estate agent who does not have access to kvCORE. This is actually still a great training for you that you can implement across any email service provider. So in the marketing world, we call that ESP. So you can use this training and follow the basic principles and design styles across MailChimp, Constant Contact, kvCORE, and a lot of other email service providers. You can even get creative and do it with Gmail, but it doesn't allow you to email as many people or get nearly as creative with regards to your sales funnels. So do me a favor and make sure that you put something in the chat to let me know that you are here, you're listening, you can hear me well. I'd love to know where everyone is from. If you're a New York-based real estate agent, or if you're from a different state, what brokerage you're with, that would be really awesome for me to know who's inside here with me. So let's see. I see here that we've got, all right, I see everybody here. Awesome. Rachel, Myrna, Margaret, Linda, Jasmine, hi, Janice, and the list goes on. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so we can get started here. Now, we're gonna be covering, like I said a couple of seconds ago, how to create e-blasts with kvCORE. Now, I want you to know exactly what you're gonna be learning because we're gonna go over more than just the design aspect. I am gonna cover some design tips and tricks and how to make your email not only beautiful, but also make it fun and full of value. So we're gonna cover list building basics, email marketing etiquette, which is super, super important because I really don't want you to get in trouble when it comes to email marketing. Now, as real estate agents, we are very familiar with something called credit scores. And with credit scores, the same principles apply with regard to your domain name. So I don't want to lose you guys, but just keep in mind that if you don't follow the email marketing etiquette that I explain in just a few minutes, you might run into some issues with your emails going to spam and you know, people just unsubscribing because they don't know what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your email marketing. And that's not what we want to do. I want to make sure that you're doing this the right way, you're following the laws, following the rules. So we're going to go over email marketing etiquette for sure. We're also going to cover email content ideas because I know for a lot of us, it's one thing to learn how to actually build out the email. It's a totally different thing to actually go ahead and know what to put in the email, right? A lot of us struggle with that. Like for a lot of us, we know how to post on social media, but we don't exactly know what to post on social media. So we're going to cover that with regards to email marketing. I'm also going to go over a little bit of Canva basics. So for those of you who have never heard of Canva, it is a free designer tool, which is really great for people who are not professional graphic designers. It's pretty much like having a professional graphic designer in your computer. It's awesome. So we're going to cover a few things with Canva that you can actually use to make your emails beautiful and eye-catching. And we're going to actually walk through building out the email within kvCORE. So we're actually going to go into kvCORE and get that done. And then I'm going to show you how you can send your e-blast, because one thing that I remember I ran into when I first started using kvCORE was, okay, I can't save my email. I can make an email, but I can't save the changes. Like I can't go back to it later. So I just have to like create it and then send it right away. And that's actually not true. So there's this very specific way to do email marketing when it comes to kvCORE. And we're gonna go over how to work through that little misstep that isn't exactly explained when you first get kvCORE. Now, for those of you who don't know what kvCORE is, it is a super powerful tool. I'm gonna say the word, provided by eXp Realty, but don't worry, I'm not gonna upsell anything eXp Realty here. I am an eXp agent, but I'm with the Ian Alexander real estate team, and I'm also the co-founder of Design for Realtors. So my primary reason for being here is simply to share education, to share the wealth of knowledge. So that's all I really wanna do. But it just so happens that kvCORE is a really powerful tool and it's provided by eXp. So for those of you who aren't eXp agents, you can actually get kvCORE on your own. I'm unsure of the pricing. I know it's very different depending on what you want to accomplish with kvCORE, but you can also use MailChimp You can also use Constant Contact, and those are the two most well-known and cost-effective email marketing options out there for real estate agents. So let's get into it. And just keep in mind, if you do have questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat and I will address them, whether it's in the moment or a little later. Now, for those of you who know me, I love coffee. So I'm just gonna take a quick sip and we're gonna get into list building basics. I hope everybody, I wonder, is everyone in their pajamas right now watching this? I'm so curious. If you guys could share, whether you're in your pajamas watching this or in your backyard, front yard. I know it's a little kind of chilly out there, but it's nice and sunny here in New York right now. So list building basics. Now, one thing that I notice real estate agents do is they do not collect email addresses. We are so obsessed with collecting phone numbers. I want your name, I want your phone number, and it's so important to get the email address too. And I know some real estate agents might argue, well, email marketing is dead. Open rates, like no one opens it anymore. Text message marketing is where it's at. And that's not actually true. Email marketing is not dead. If email marketing were dead, one, you wouldn't be here interested to learn about it, and two, other large multi-million and billion-dollar companies wouldn't resort to spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per year on sending out email marketing. So first things first, email is so important, especially with new leads that you're getting. So, don't ignore that fact. Make sure you're getting those email addresses. Now, another great way to list build is to make geo calls. Now, at the time of this training, I know that coronavirus is a real thing and we're all being asked to stay home and not conduct real estate activities as usual. And part of that for those of us in New York means that we cannot make cold calls. We cannot call expires for sale by owners. No type of telemarketing can happen at the time of this training. Now, when this is all over and we're actually allowed to go back to our regularly scheduled real estate activities, geo calls are a great way to list build. And I highly recommend that real estate agents take advantage of this because it is a very low pressure sales strategy to building your list and also to getting listings and buyers, believe it or not. So another way is to export your Facebook friends and export your LinkedIn connections, your Google contacts, and to export or connect lead services such as Zillow or the Make It Rain program, any type of lead source that you have paid for that is bringing you in online leads. Make sure that you're connecting this to your CRM. Now, when I said export Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google contacts, for a lot of real estate agents, especially if you're brand new and you don't necessarily have past clients to fall back on, one thing that you can do to actually bulk up your CRM and have people to call, especially now that we're not allowed to call at this very time, a great thing to do is to go into Facebook and to export your friends. Now, I'm not going to walk through how to do that in this training, but if someone would like to see that, let me know in the comments and I will be able to make note of that and we'll do a separate training on that. But you can actually go into Facebook, you can go into LinkedIn, and there's tons of videos online, especially on YouTube, on how to actually export the contacts and pull email addresses and phone numbers from those two platforms to then add them to your CRM or MailChimp or Constant Contact and get it done, right? So that is a great way to get you started in terms of list building if you have nowhere to start at all. So let's get into email marketing etiquette. Okay. Now, one thing I want to say for sure, I'm going to take another sip of my coffee, is that you should not buy an email list. I cannot stress this enough. Even if the case might be that you have, this is something that real estate agents often do, especially the more experienced ones. They'll go to a brokerage or a team leader or real estate agent who is exiting the business, right? Whether it's that they are failing or that they are deciding to retire. They will contact another real estate agent and buy their old leads. Now, this is a great way to get leads at a more cost-effective price, right? But what you want to keep in mind is that these people don't know you. You weren't the first person that they reached out to. So this is a form of list buying that is not necessarily illegal according to email marketing laws, but it falls in the gray area where you want to make sure that you actually call through that list and uncover who you can build a relationship with, whose actual contact information works properly before you add them onto a mass email like that. Because what you want to avoid is getting tons and tons and tons of unsubscribes because people are seeing, who the heck is this person sending me real estate emails? Like, I have no idea who this is. So please keep that in mind when it comes to list buying. Now, it's a gray area, but you don't want to go ahead and do that. You want to make sure that you contact those people first. If you have purchased a list from another broker or real estate agent or someone retiring or exiting the business. Under no circumstances should you buy an email marketing list from some type of company that is offering you the emails of people who are looking to buy. Do not do that. It is not a good way to spend your money, especially if you are starting out. Now, another thing to keep in mind with regard to email marketing etiquette is do not only use images. So for a lot of us, we've probably signed up for different e-commerce sites like, let's say you shop at H&M or Zara, or maybe you shop at Best Buy or Amazon. A lot of times these companies send emails, and actually every time these companies send emails. And what's important to understand is that when you open these emails, take a good look at what's actually inside of the emails, right? Now, a lot of companies, their emails, if you pay attention to your actual inbox, especially if you use Gmail, you'll notice that they're getting put in the promos section, right? They're getting put in the marketing section, right? Or the social section, because Gmail has filters that are built in, right? Artificial intelligence and all that jazz. So it's using these filters to figure out what is a marketing email and what is an actual email that the addressee would actually want to open. And how it does this is it takes into account how many links are in the email, how many images are in the email, is there any text in this email, or is it all links and images, right? So the less that you have that looks spammy and marketing-y, that's not a word, but the less that you have that seems that way to the email provider like Gmail or Yahoo, the less that you're going to wind up in the spam box, and the less that you're going to wind up in the promo section of the email filters. Now, it's not to say, hold on, we've got, of course, that's Alex's phone. Give me just a sec. All right. Speaking of stay home, you guys get to see where I sleep. So I just want to make sure his phone doesn't continue to ring while we go through this. So one thing that you want to keep in mind is how many photos you've got going on in there, how many links you have going on in there, et cetera, et cetera. That's not to say we're not going to put photos in there, because we're selling real estate at the end of the day. So we want it to look enticing and have photos of properties. It just means have a healthy mixture of it, all right? So we're going to keep that in mind. What you want to do is always include an unsubscribe link. Now, I know for some of you, depending on what email service provider you use, especially for kvCORE actually doesn't build it in automatically. So you want to make sure that you put that in, and I'm going to show you how to put it in when we actually go through and build out the email. But you want to make sure that you always include an unsubscribe link, because you have to give the consumer the option to do so. All right. If you don't give them the option, you are actually violating CAN-SPAM laws, which, you know, there's so many real estate agents. It's very difficult to police the internet, but at the end of the day, best practices is to actually follow what rules are out there and work your way with them. So always include an unsubscribe link, and it can be very, very, very small, all the way at the bottom of the email. And at the end of the day, if anyone does want to unsubscribe to your email, let them. It's not a big deal. You don't want to be emailing people who don't want to be emailed, right? Plus, you have their phone number anyway, and you can always give them a call and see if they're interested in just kind of like getting taken off of your CRM, right? It's good to keep your CRM clean. Now, you want to avoid overselling, just like I talk about all the time with regard to social media. Don't oversell. You want to bring value, okay? So always provide value and stay relevant. And we're going to talk about this when we go over a couple of email marketing ideas that you can use for content within your emails. Now, another thing is that you always want to include CTAs. Now, Just a brief overview of what exactly is a CTA. Now, a CTA is a call to action. As a real estate agent, you're a marketer, right? You're in sales, and most importantly, you're in marketing. So that means that you have to become very familiar with different marketing terms and strategies and how to actually get this done, because it's going to help you sell more houses, okay? Now, I know that our focus is to build relationships, and at the end of the day, that should be what your business's primary focus is, aside from sales. But that doesn't mean that you can't sprinkle a little sales on there through the form of CTAs. Now, what are CTAs? Calls to action. So if you go to my Instagram profile, you will see that in the bio section underneath my profile photo, I have a CTA. It says, get free resources. And then it points to a link. So my call to action is that someone should click that link to get free resources. You see CTAs everywhere you go. There was a CTA in the email where you probably signed up to this, where it said register now, right? That was a CTA. There was a CTA in the Instagram stories, if that's how you found out about this webinar, that said go register now at the link in my bio. That was a CTA. So you want to keep that in mind, and you want to sprinkle CTAs inside of your e-blasts. This is going to help convert people from within your emails. So we're actually doing a training all about the power of CTAs and how to use them strategically to increase sales with regards to real estate. So if you're interested in that webinar, I think it's next week, definitely go and register for that in the same place that you found out about this webinar. So those are some basic email marketing etiquette principles that everyone should follow. That's really going to help you, one, not get in trouble, two, not get in trouble, and three, actually convert more people through email marketing, which is the fun part. So let's get into some marketing content ideas. So a lot of real estate agents and businesses in general who look to email marketing as a way to increase business and stay relevant, they have trouble with identifying content, coming up with anything to put in the email, because it's kind of like, oh, you know, what am I going to put in the email? What can I send people? And the idea of like, okay, I should be sending an email once a week, right? Real estate agents, once a week is a good amount of time to send emails. Unless you have something extra to send, then, you know, a second email during the week isn't so bad. But I would say once a week is a healthy amount of times to send emails. What are you going to put in there every week, right? Is it just going to be an email where it says these are the houses for sale this week, right? No, that's not exactly interesting. And yes, you did get the person to sign up for your email list, or you know, they were a lead from Zillow or whatever the case may be. They signed up for something real estate related, but you can't just be a real estate agent to people anymore. It's not enough. You have to be a resource. Okay, so in order to be a resource, you want to put content inside of your emails that speaks to that idea that you are a resource. So that being said, things that you can include inside of your email marketing is blog posts, right? You can have a mortgage lender write a blog post for you, right? Or a snippet of what the market snapshot is as far as the mortgage world goes, and you can include that in your email. Right? That's a great piece of content that people actually would be interested in, especially if they are looking to buy or sell soon and might be interested in getting a mortgage, right? You can put industry news in there. Like right now is probably one of the most amazing times to send people industry related news, because this is a time when people are full of fear. They're uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty going on out there, and a quick Google search, coronavirus news, right? You're just, it's overwhelming how much negativity is out there. And it's not to say that what's going on isn't real and it's not affecting people. It is. But you could be a light, a positive light, of a resource to people during this time, where you are the real estate agent who went out of their way to explain in a very objective way what's going on. Right? To shine a light on the realities, right? As opposed to some of the more opinionated pieces that are out there, some of the other videos that are out there. You can share your 2 cents that might actually bring comfort to buyers and sellers, because they don't know, is it a good time to buy right now? Should I wait to list until after the summer, right? inventory could just like increase exponentially after this is all over, which then wouldn't it maybe not be a good time to list later on? But then is this a good time to list, right? I'll let you form your own opinions because of course you're in your own markets and every market works differently and we all have different rules that we're subjected to with everything going on right now. But this is your time to shine and share your opinion. So keep that in mind when you're trying to come up with content. Your opinion is just that, and they look for your opinion when they're looking to work with you as a real estate agent, right? Because we share our opinion based on our experience and our expertise. So another thing that you can actually do are home maintenance tips, right? You can do educational videos, so differences between a co-op or condo if you're in New York. You can share a video on 5 things first-time home buyers should look out for when purchasing a new construction, right? There's so many different things that you can make content about. You just have to get creative. And I will say that education and how-tos, home maintenance, and blog posts are probably the 4 things that are just unlimited. There's an unlimited amount of things that you can come up with there. And there's tons and tons and tons of resources online that actually have lists of things. So another thing that you can actually include, which right now, because of everything that's going on, it's a little difficult, but typically a great email, piece of email content would be local events, right? For a lot of us, we focus on niche areas, you know, like for me, I like Forest Hills and Queens. So it would be a great idea for me to send emails that actually focus on events and farmers markets and things like that that are happening within the Forest Hills community and share that in an email. So keep that in mind. There are tons and tons of things that you can put inside of an email every week. And don't be afraid to recycle some stuff every couple of several weeks. It's not a crime to recycle. It's good for the environment and good for your marketing. Just don't put them too close together. Now, let's get into how to actually do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up kvCORE. So this is kvCORE. Everyone can see my screen, right? I just want to make sure. If you are having any trouble with my audio or hearing anything, let me know. I do see we have some more people who joined us. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and share that screen, and I'm going to pull up kvCORE. So like I said, you don't have to use kvCORE to follow these principles, but it definitely makes life easier. So we're going to go ahead and what I'm showing you right now, this is kvCORE's lead engine, right? Now, where I do want to go is to Marketing Autopilot. So on this left-hand side, so Marketing Autopilot gives me the ability to schedule mass emails. Now, that is super awesome, especially because it's unlimited. There's no limit. So for example, if you have MailChimp, you can have a free MailChimp account for up to 2,000 contacts, right? That's great, right? That's free email marketing. But, you know, as a real estate agent, it's very easy for your list to exceed 2,000 contacts, because keep in mind, you're not just going to have people that you've closed deals with on your email list. You're going to have vendors, other real estate agents, buyers, sellers, potential leads, people who aren't ready to buy or sell right now, but they will be in a year, right? So you're going to grow a pretty large list pretty quickly as long as you're putting in that hard work every day. So one thing to keep in mind when you're inside of kvCORE is that you don't actually want to hit the schedule an email button, right? So if I go ahead and hit that button, it's going to take me to this area where you have this green button, or CTA, right? All the way on the right side that says schedule email. So if you click that, it brings up the email builder. Now, you do not want to build your email here for right now, especially if it's your very first time creating an e-blast in kvCORE. And the reason for this is that you're not going to be able to save it. And what we want to do in order to help streamline our business, because let me see some happy hands if you like to make your life easier and not work harder. So one thing that you can do within kvCORE is save templates, and you can do the same thing inside of MailChimp and Constant Contact as well. But you got to create the template first before you actually go ahead and use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on creating a template. So to create a template, we're not going to do it here. we're actually going to go back, and yes, I want to close this. We're going to go back to Marketing Autopilot on the side, right? And we are going to click on Smart Campaigns, right? Now, we're not building a smart campaign, but we do want to access the templates area, which is where KV Core keeps all the templates inside of the smart campaigns area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on templates on the top towards the left area, templates here. And you can see that there's a ton of 116 templates right now. So we're going to go ahead and on the right hand side with the green CTA, add templates. Click on that. And then you're going to click on email template, right? Because you're choosing to create an email template. So there's two kinds of emails that you can do. The first kind is a plain text email. So for some of you who actually arrived at this training, you might have seen a plain text email where there were no images. It was just an invite to some trainings that we've got going on for the next 2 weeks. Now, plain text emails are very powerful, and they actually come off very sincere in the sense that you're not marketing to someone. You're just sending a regular email. Now, that is great. But for your weekly email, what you might want to do is send a little bit more of a design, the jazzed up email. So we're going to walk through how to do that. But in any case, if you do want to focus on only doing plain text emails, right, it's very simple to do that here. So if I wanted to create a plain text email, I could put hi, and then I could actually add a merge tag. So for those of you who don't know what a merge tag is, it is just a simple way to put very specific information that's automated into the email. So for example, you see that I clicked on merge tags. I'm hovering on lead, and it gives me the ability to put the lead's first name. So assuming that you have an organized CRM and you have the first name of all the people that you've added in there, you can put first name and it'll generate this for you. So when you send the email to, let's say, 1,000 people, each person is going to get a completely customized email that has their first name. So you can actually have a lot of fun with merge tags, and you can get real creative with how you can customize these emails. So that way people feel like the email is genuinely to them, like you created it for them. So that is how you would create a plain text email. And then you would just go ahead and kind of type whatever content you want in there and include your email signature. But we want to get creative over here. So I'm going to name my template, right? Because you definitely want to label the things that you're creating. So we're going to name this weekly email template. I'm going to name it number 2 because I already have a number 1. And the subject line, you can actually name it anything you want. I'm going to call it weekly update. And you're going to wind up changing the subject line either way every week when you send the email. And it's really fun to come up with subject lines, especially if you're super into marketing. So what's an important way to actually get this pretty email done, right? To get creative here. This blue button over here, Advanced Editor. You're going to click on that. There's going to be a pop-up. Are you sure? You're going to hit yes, switch. Now this is going to bring up the Advanced Editor. And you have a lot of options here. So for those of you who have MailChimp or Constant Contact, your email platform actually looks very similar to this in that there's drag and drop content options, right? As you can see here on the right side. And KV Core, same thing. It's drag and drop. So what we want to do is start to build out our email template, right? And you can see here on the bottom right-handish side, add template, right? That's gonna be where you save it. So let's go ahead and build this out. But first, I wanna walk you through a couple of things to keep in mind. So it is drag and drop. So if I just hold this and bring it over here, it's gonna add a text block. And if I just double click into there, I have the ability to edit tons of options like the font. I can add merge tags. I can decide if I want the text to be centered or left adjusted, bolded, underlined, make the font larger, do bullet points, make a numbered list. You have a lot of options here. If I want to delete this piece of content that I just created, I would just make sure that I have it selected, right? And hit that trash can button. that is how you would delete a piece of content that you've added. So everybody still with me? Let's check here. Okay, good, good. Awesome. So let's go ahead and actually put the basics of what we want to build out here. So I know for my email, I definitely want to have some sort of email header. So let me go ahead and pull up my actual email that I have, that I send every week actually. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Schedule email. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the actual template. Weekly. Oop, there we go. Weekly blast. So this is the template that I use for my e-blasts. And this is how it looks. So I have this header here, the real estate update. I've got my team logo with my name and contact information. I have a couple of links here where people can actually click on different property searches or get a market report, home valuation, just some basic stuff. I included a merge tag. So you see here, first name, right? And this lorem ipsum dolorsit amet, this is not an actual language. It's just some jargon that the graphic designers tend to use, and my background was in graphic design. So don't worry, that's not like some crazy language. That's just there as like filler text so that I know in the future, okay, this is where I would put whatever content that I'm gonna add there as the main thing. Then I have a property spotlight, which I will do every week, whether it's my listing or a listing from the EXP office that I'm part of. I'll include a little property description. And this is actually just a link to a YouTube video that I created. And this cover art here is something I made in Canva that I included in the YouTube video. So very, very simple. Then when you scroll down to here, you have this search, this link bar again with property search, newest listings, home valuation, market report, etc. You've got some images here, and I'm going to show you how to make these. And then you've got my contact info. I put our slogan, and I put an image of the team. So I've actually gotten some pretty nice responses about this email from people who are past clients, friends, etc. So let me see. I think we have a question. Yes, Yvette, I love Canva. I literally use it probably every day to do so many different things. And that was hard for me to say at first because I am a big lover of Photoshop, but I'm not gonna lie, going to canva.com as opposed to trying to open up Photoshop on my computer and waiting and pulling all that, you know, just power on the computer and then trying to do other things, really, really hard. Canva, so much easier. If you're a real estate agent and you're not using Canva, I highly recommend that after this training, you go to canva.com and check it out. So let's go back to the email. So this is my email setup. So we're going to create something similar, but obviously you can get as creative as you would like to, especially if you're a Canva user. Just remember that we went over email marketing etiquette, and I said to make sure that you use text. Right? You don't want to make it all images, okay? So that's why I have a good mix of text. I have links, I have images, and more often than not, I will actually include more text in there, especially if it's gonna link to a blog post, because what I would do is include like a little excerpt from the blog post, maybe like the first 3 lines, and then put a read more link in there, so that way people can see the rest of the blog post, but I still have some text inside of the email. So let's go ahead and go here and build this out. So first things first, you might be wondering, well, hey, how do I actually get the header that you had, right? So I'm in Canva right now, and this is the header that I created for myself. So it's very simple, and I can actually give you the exact pixel size of it if you want to make it in Canva. So it's 600 pixels by 200 pixels, right? And this is a good size for emails. It's mobile friendly. It's small enough that it looks good on the phone, but large enough that it still looks good on desktop. As you can see, everything's clear. I've got the logo there and all that stuff. But you can get super creative with how you make stuff. So let's just go over really quickly how you would go ahead and create an actual email header. Now, the beauty of Canva is that if you look on the left side, you can see that there are a lot of options here, right, for templates. And you can use any one of these templates. It's free to use as long as you're not selling the template, right? So there's so many options here. Like if I wanted to, this would be a really great email header for a real estate agent. I would just go ahead and drag and drop my headshot image, right? Just bring that down there, right? And I would probably change these colors to be more so of my brand colors. And then I would probably add my logo, right? So I would go ahead and put this logo here and just kind of boom that up and probably put it down here somewhere or off to the side, right? You can get really creative with how you decide to make your email header. So how do we actually get the email header inside of there? So let's go ahead and download the email header. So I'm going to download a JPEG. Now my Canva account might look a little bit different than yours. Just because I have a pro Canva account. So if you don't have a pro one, yours just will look slightly different, but same principles apply. It's very user-friendly, very drag and drop centric. So I have the download right here on the bottom left corner. So let's go back to KV Core, right? And it says here, no content here, drag new from content panel, right? So I know that I downloaded an image, right? A photo, a JPG file. So I'm gonna hover on image, click it, and drag and drop it to the top there. So I put the content there. Now I need to upload the actual creative asset, right? I need to upload that into this little box. So here we go. I'm gonna drag that into there, right? And the beauty of KV Core is that it's super easy to just drag and drop stuff in there. So there we go. We got the first half of my email, right? This is the final, right? Now this is, we're building it out. So what's the next step? What you're gonna wanna do is add text, right? So how did I create this little search bar here? Let's scroll up. So this little search bar here is actually very simple. It's just plain text that I centered and then I added links to them. So you would just go ahead and drag and drop some text there, right? Double click into it, and then we can type property search. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put a line there, space, right? Market report, right? Put a line, space. What else did I have in there? Home valuation and newest listings, right? Home valuation, space, and newest listings, right? So what we're gonna do is put this all centered, right? Make sure it's centered. And then what you would go ahead and do is actually just highlight each one individually, right? And then you're going to add a link, right? So the link that I added is actually some links that I created within KV Core to squeeze pages, market report pages, property listing pages, and property searches. So, and home valuations. So I individually created the links to do those. Now, keep in mind that if this is your first time creating an eBlast template within KV Core or any platform, the beauty is that you only have to create these links once, right? Because you're making a template. You're going to be able to use it over and over again every time you send out an email. So it's a lot of work in the beginning, but it's fine. It'll pay off. So we have that there. Now, I believe in my original email, I put some space here. So we can go ahead and add a space bar for the sake of prettiness and just keep things clean, right? So you'll see that it created a line there. If I actually click on this, right, and I'm just gonna scroll down just a little bit, right? I can actually make this gray color white, and that's it. That little line is gone, right? It's covered. So what's the next part? The next part is that I had text over here, right? Hey, first name, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight that because it would take me forever to type out lorem ipsum. So we're gonna drag another text field right under here, right? Double click, highlight, and paste, right? There you go. That's it. It's in there. So let's say that you don't have this version, you know, just lying around. You don't have any text anywhere. You can literally just write, hey, right? And then over here in the merge tags area, you click on that, right? And you're going to click on first name, right? put a little comma. That means that the person's first name is going to pop up automatically when you send this email to however many hundreds or thousands of people that you have inside of your CRM, right? And there you go. That is the text portion for the most part of my email. I'm just going to take care of a few spaces. Now, the reason that I put just my first name as opposed to my entire email signature here is that the email is going to continue, right? I'm gonna keep building out the email with some more design-centric pieces of content. So at the very bottom of the email, one of those pieces of content is actually going to be my headshot with my contact information again. So that'll be more of my formal signature with my real estate title and all of that stuff. What I want to do is in that little beginning text portion, I want to keep it more personal and personable. So it'll help you become on a first name basis with people that you're sending an email to. And it feels a little less formal, which helps build rapport. So let's go back to the original email I created. So you can see here that I added a line to separate the fact that there's going to be a property spotlight here. So we can go ahead and click on content here, and then we're going to add a divider line, right? So there we go. And now I would like to add a video, right? How do we do that? So we're going to go ahead and hover on this video icon here, drag that underneath the line, right? I'm going to go ahead and add text right above it, and I'm going to call this property. I can't spell property today. Property spotlight in caps. I'm going to center it. I'm going to bold it. And I'm going to change the color to be completely matte black. And I am going to increase the size of the text to 24, right? Nice and big. Property spotlight. Boom. Now, how do we actually get a video in here? So let's go ahead and go to YouTube. Now, the property video that I had is from a listing in Richmond Hill, and we shot that just before all of this happened, which was super awesome because it has been helping us be able to, communicate with buyers and other agents who have buyers that are interested in it. So let's go ahead and let's pull up that video. Ian Alexander, Realty Group. Gotta update our. So here we go. So let's go ahead and actually pull up the video that we want to use, right? So this is the video over here. Let me just make sure that my volume's not crazy and it doesn't start playing right away. All right, so the one thing that you're gonna need to do in order to actually put this video inside of the eBlast is when you pull up your YouTube video of your property, you're going to want to copy the link, right? Very, very simple. Just copy the link of the YouTube video. And if you are a real estate agent who works within a team, or maybe you're an EXP agent, so you have kind of a bulkier list of listings that you get to pull from because you're part of a larger brokerage, this is really great if the other listing agent gives you permission to use their property tour, because then you can include it here. So I've copied the link to the YouTube video and I've clicked on the add video URL, right? So just towards the right side, you can see here, video URL, right? You can use YouTube or Vimeo. So I've pasted it and there you go, it's in there. So it's going to use the automatic cover that you have for the actual YouTube video. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. So it's going to use that cover photo. You can have a lot of fun creating cover photos for YouTube videos inside of Canva. So that's another option in case you wanted to update your YouTube video. But that's a training for another day. So we've got our video spotlight in there. I'm going to click on content again, and we're going to go ahead and drag and drop text underneath it, right? Because remember in my email template, I have a little property description here. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that property description. And now if you're a real estate agent and you have a listing, you don't have to worry about typing out the property description, because chances are if you have a listing, you probably wrote one already. And it's probably on MLS and Zillow, etc. And if you're using someone else's listing who has given you permission to send an email with their listing in there, you can actually just copy and paste their property description. Now, pro tip, if you are a real estate agent and you're brand new, or maybe you ran out of inventory, one way that you can actually have unique property content to share with people inside of your email list is if you actually, and don't hate me for saying this, it's just a strategy. You can get real creative, especially when you're brand new and you're really trying to hustle. You can use properties for sale by owners, okay? Now, I'm not gonna go over how you would actually accomplish this. There is a very specific way to do it, and it is an awesome way to build rapport with for sale by owners and eventually potentially get the listing. But you want to keep in mind that you're just sending an email, right? It's not an office exclusive. You're just letting people know that the inventory is out there. Now, what you wouldn't do is actually put the information for people in your in your email list to contact the FSBO. You would make it so that they are contacting you. Right? And there's a number of different ways to do that, but that is a strategy in the event that maybe you're with a smaller brokerage and the inventory is not there, or maybe your team doesn't have necessarily a lot of inventory and you don't have an IDX website. You know, it can get difficult if you don't have a lot of options. So you can go ahead and do that as well, but just, you know, be careful how you do it. So let's go ahead and keep building out this email. So you can see here that I have the property search, new listings, home valuation, and market report here. I don't have to do it all over again, okay? That's the beauty of kvCORE and a lot of email marketing service providers. I can actually just go back up here, up top to what I created and hit this little double paged button. That's gonna duplicate it, right? And then what I'm gonna do is just drag this down and drop it there, right? And there you go. It's like scrolling on its own. There we go. So I've actually duplicated it and it's there again. Now, ideally you want to do this after you have already created the links to each individual title, right? Because you don't want to go ahead and have to do it like 6 times. But I didn't create the links just for the purposes of saving us time, so we're not here as long as it would take to actually build out this email. So let's go back to my original. Now you can see here I have view homes for sale, right? I've got another line separating. So let's go ahead and add those lines, right? We remember here divider. So put the divider there, then I put a divider underneath there, right? And then I put some text. Oh, the divider moved. So let's just grab this little thing here, put that there, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and paste view homes for sale. I wanna center it just like I did property spotlight. I wanna make it larger just like I did property spotlight. I wanna make it bold. And I also wanna make it full on black, right? View homes for sale. Let me see, I think we have a question here. Yes, Yvette, this will be saved and we are going to have a replay. No one else knows that though, so but yes, this will be available for replay. We'll be sharing the link. So I hope your conference call goes well. I love when agents are busy during these crazy times. So let's go ahead and talk about this portion, right? So you can see I have some images here. Condos for sale, co-ops for sale, multifamilies, houses for sale. Now, if you're a real estate agent who actually focuses on, for example, short sales, right? Or investor specials, as some agents call it, you can actually put that in there. You can get really creative. And it doesn't necessarily have to be properties. You can also put images that will link to blog posts, right? So let's go ahead and actually create this, right? So we're gonna go back into Canva because that's where the fun is at. Let me pull up Canva. All right. And let's go to folders. And I'm just gonna pull up kvCORE. Here we go. All right, so this is the creative that I used, right? You can see these here. I used this in order to create, oh, let me just move my head. In order to create this over here, right? So let me go, yeah. So to create this over here. So within Canva, I'm going to give you the sizes of this. So if you want to write down these sizes so you can create them on your own inside of Canva, it makes it super easier as opposed to having to come up with it on your own. It's a simple square. And if you want to do rectangles instead, you would just cut this number in half. So the size is 1080, so 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. A perfect square, just like an Instagram post. It's literally the same size as an Instagram post. And the reason being that when this is served up on mobile, some email providers and some cell phones might actually put these one on top of the other. So they'll come out to a really nice size, and this is also a good size if they do happen to come out side by side on a mobile phone. So 1080 by 1080 is great. It's a perfect square. If you wanted to do rectangles, you would just cut it directly in half. So whatever half of 1080 is. So how do we actually create these? So I'm going to create a new page, right? What you would do in your Canva account is go on the left side to elements. You're going to choose a photo element, right? So just a blank thing here. Then you're going to choose a square, right? I'll go ahead and make this the color black, and I'm going to just shrink it down a little bit and move it to the center, right? And the beauty of Canva is that it kind of guides you what's the actual middle if you let it, right? So this, boom, that's the middle. Now I want a photo. So Canva actually has a lot of great stock images that you can use, especially for real estate agents. If you're doing things that are really design centric and it's not really like actual listing photos, you can use your own listing photos, but there's options in Canva as well. So let's go ahead and share my screen again. All right, so we can type in living room. Right, and you want to make sure if you are using stock photos, use something that is similar to properties that you actually sell, right? And you would just kind of play around and see what would actually look nice in here. So this actually looks good. I'm going to make this a little smaller, right? And then I'm going to go ahead just for the sake of time and copy this text here, right? And then I would actually go ahead and make this a little bit transparent, right? So I can mess with the transparency there. Right? Put it at 86, right? That looks good. So the next step would just be to go ahead and download that and then upload that just the same way that we did to your actual eBlast, just like we did this one earlier. Now here's the thing. As you can see in my email, they are side by side. Now, how do you do that, right? Because you can't just go ahead and choose content and then throw an image in there, right? And put it directly underneath, because that's going to put them all on top of each other. Here's the trick. You can see here, pay attention to my mouse. I have content selected. Right in the center, if you click on rows, right? Rows. This actually lets you customize how many rows. It actually should be called columns, in my opinion. I'm an Excel spreadsheet geek, but it should be called columns. It is a row, but I think the way that they're trying to show the style, I would consider columns, but I digress. So we're going to go ahead and choose one that actually splits it up evenly. Here we go. So it would be this one, right? So we're going to go ahead and hold that and drag it down there. Right now you can see that I have the option to put content on that will be next to each other, right? Which is super, super awesome. So let's go ahead and download these just so I can show you exactly how it would run if you were doing it yourself. And all right, so while that's downloading, so if anyone has any questions about the stuff that I'm covering here, in probably like about 5 more minutes, we'll be ready to actually send the email and go over how to do that. And I'll give you a couple of tips in terms of email subject lines and things like that. All right, so let's see, it's downloaded. Let's go ahead and open up the zip file. I'm gonna go ahead and go to KV Core. So we're gonna go back to content, right? Because we added the row, and that is what's going to allow us to actually split it up and have the images side by side the way that I have them in my email. You don't have to do it exactly like me, but I'm just showing you a quick way to actually get that done. So we would go ahead and drag image, right? Drag another image, right? And look at that, they're side by side. So now we can, let me close all of these. Here we go. So now we can go ahead and drag this into here, right? And boom, come on, Wi-Fi. So that you can see that that one's there. And then I can go ahead and drag another one, and that one will be on the left side. You would just repeat this step for the next 2 rows, right? And that'll give you this section here. And what you're going to do is actually link these to a page on your real estate website that will allow you to let people view properties, right? Co-ops for sale, for example. So you would just go ahead and take this, delete it. Sorry, not that one. You would go ahead down here to image link, right? So the action, just like we talked about call to action, and you would go ahead and paste whatever URL you wanted to have in here, preferably an actual squeeze page of your website. So if anyone has questions about squeeze pages, we are actually hosting a training within the next 2 weeks about how to use squeeze pages in order to generate leads and just, you know, have your CRM building up like crazy. So taking a quick second to just point out that we are having several trainings going on. So if you haven't registered yet and you're interested in these trainings, or you have an idea for a training that you don't see here but you would like to see here, let me know. You can find me on Instagram at Real Estate with Amanda, or you can reach out to Alex, who's my partner and my fiance. You can reach out to us. He's Alex Fazzolani, and I'm Real Estate with Amanda on Instagram or Facebook. And you can just let us know what trainings you'd like to see. But there's a lot of really awesome trainings. For those of you who have signed up for Create a Real Estate Facebook Ad Live, I highly recommend that you take the Introduction to Facebook Ads class the day before. So the Introduction to Facebook Ads is on Sunday, and the Create a Facebook Ad Live is on Monday. So I recommend that you do both back to back, so that way you kind of have the gist of the basics before we get into actually like full throttle making the ad. So that way we can make sure that everyone's on the same page. But there are a lot of trainings going on, so definitely go and check those out. Now, let's go back to our eBlast. So we've got these set up. You would go ahead and put your URL in there, right? Now, the next thing, the signature, right? This is the same exact principle. So basically, all I did was I clicked on content. I put a divider, right? Oh, wait, before we put the divider, we got to make our little outline normal again, right? So remember, these rows, they designate the style of your eBlast, right? Let me just delete that there. There we go. They designate the style of the eBlast. So I had to add another row so that way I could put this divider and make sure that it takes up the whole space of the email, right? Now the next part is the little email footer, not footer, my signature, my email signature, right? So I have a headshot over here, and then I have my contact information over here. Right, I'm just gonna copy that for the sake of being quick. And what you would do is, in order to create that, you go back to rows and then choose the row that matches that style if you wanted to do it exactly the way that I did it. And then you would click on content and you would put an image there, and then you would put the text here, right? And you would paste that information that you have there. Here we go, right? And you would just make that happen, right? And then you would stylize it the way that you see here. Now there's a social media, some social media buttons there. So you can actually go to content, right? And you see here social, just go ahead and drag that and drop that there. Now when you click on it, you actually have the option to switch up the styles, right? I had a style that I liked, which was this one. Someone might like the more colorful ones, keep it classic. So you've got a lot of options on how you can actually put those buttons there. And then for me, I wanted to leave it off with the slogan and then a team, like big team kind of collage photo. And then I just copied and pasted the property search, newest listings, home valuation, and market report. So that is literally how you build out that email on KV Core. Now remember, what we've just built out is an email template. So this means that you are going to have the ability to actually go and pull it up and customize it every single week really quickly. And the more often you do it, the easier it will be to get it done. So you'll be able to go ahead and do that. and then send it out. And the idea is that you're just updating whatever it is you had built out there. And if you wanted to create more than one template, you absolutely could. So let's go ahead and share my screen again, right? So once you're all done with building this out, what you would actually do is click Add Template, right? And that's it, it saved it, right? Now, me personally, I'm gonna go back in and probably delete that template just because this is my account and I already have that identical template somewhere else in my account. So I wouldn't be using that. But you've created your template. Now the next step is to actually send out the email, right? To make it real, to customize it. So let's go ahead and go to the section where we would do that, right? So remember in the beginning, we talked about not clicking schedule mass email until you've gone to Smart Campaigns and created a template. So just as a refresher, in order to create a template within KV Core, you would click on Smart Campaigns, which is inside of Marketing Autopilot here on the left side, right? You would click on Templates towards the top. It's grayed out, so you wouldn't really notice it too much. And then you would choose on the right-hand side, Add Template, Email Template, and then you would click on Advanced Editor, say yes that you want to switch, and then boom, you get to the Advanced Editor and you get to start the whole party again. Now, let's close this and let's go to actually schedule the mass email. So we're going to click on Schedule Email, Schedule and Email. We're going to hit Schedule, right? We hit that green button that was off to the right side. So this looks very much like the actual email template builder that we were using. And it pretty much is the same thing, but the idea is that now you get to pull up the template that you created, right? So let's actually go ahead and I'm going to type in weekly, right? Weekly e-blast. So all I did was type in the title of it. I selected the one that I wanted to use and boom, it's right here. So now every week, I typically do this on Wednesdays. I go in and here it is. There's my email. All I have to do is just customize what text I want to put here. So, you know, probably something along the lines of some type of update with regard to market news, or sharing the experience of what's going on in my real estate business with everything going on, or even telling a happy story about how I helped a client, right? A great email to send right now with everything going on, specifically for any business owner really, would be if you actually did this whole e-blast, built out this whole e-blast, and then for that text portion, you would put in there that you just wanted to reach out and see if they needed anything, whether it was a run to the grocery store or whatever. And, you know, depending on your situation, maybe you can't run out to the grocery store. Maybe you're not in a situation, depending on who lives in your household and what you might want to risk. You know, you might not want to do that, but there are some people who would offer that. And it's okay if you don't. There's other ways to bring value and help people during this time, like saying, oh, you know, I hope all is well with your family. If there's anything that you want to talk about, or you want to hop on a quick call, like I know we're missing human connection, let me know, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Keep it human. And this is a great time to send that type of email out. So let's make sure that we're in. Yes. Okay, so let's go over some of the little nuances here. Send to, right? So with KV Core is a very sophisticated CRM, okay? Now, if you don't have KV Core and you use something like Pipedrive or Lion's Desk or Follow Up Boss, and any CRM really, not Constant Contact, Top Producer, iExact, there are so many out there, HubSpot, they all have the same solutions, but email marketing with KV Core is very unique in the sense that with KV Core, you can send unlimited text. There's a phone dialer, a mobile dialer. There's also unlimited emails, right? And your email list can be however large. So the sky is really the limit here. So keep in mind that a lot of this stuff that's being asked of you here within KV Core is because the CRM is so robust. So you can actually choose to send your email to specific contacts that match a criteria from a saved filter. Now that's something advanced that I'm not going to go over right now. Or you can send it to contacts with a hashtag, right? So for example, if I wanted to send this email to only FSBOs, right, that I have within my CRM, I could, right? If I wanted to send this email to buyers who have inquired about 6601 Burns Street, Unit 3V, right? That's a hashtag that I have here, right? Or an open house, right? That I had. I can choose that specific hashtag and send the email exclusively to those people, right? So you can get really creative here. Like if you have an open house and you want to send an email to just those people, thanking them for coming to the open house, there's a lot of automation fun that can be had here. So one thing I particularly like to do is to send to contacts with status. So I would typically send it to my sphere. I would also send it to new leads, and I would send it to active leads, right? Those are my top 3 people that I typically send it to. I send a different kind of email to different lists. It all depends what I've got going on and what type of messaging I want to send to them. So you would pick who you want to send your email to. Then you want to choose when you want to send it. So let's say I wanted to send it Saturday the 4th, right? Or let's say I wanted to send it Thursday, right? Then I'm going to choose the time, right? I definitely don't want to send it at 2 a.m. I think sometimes I feel like after like mid-afternoon, like a random time in the afternoon works really well, or in the evening time when people are typically out of work. I will say with regards to all the businesses that we own, email marketing has kind of been like, whoa, like just not following the exact statistics for now because people are home all the time pretty much now. So just have fun with it and see what works best for you. Now, you have your template selected, right? And now over here is where you choose the subject line. So the subject line that you had for your email template is already built in there, but you don't want to actually call your email weekly update e-blast, right? You want to get creative. And when I say creative, I mean, for example, I sent out an email, or my team actually sent out an email to over 13,000 real estate agents on the email list that we have, Design for Realtors, right? Now we exclusively use that email list for Design for Realtors, for sales and to update them on products and things like that, and for education. Now we decided to open up these trainings to all real estate agents, not just our real estate team, because we thought, hey, everybody's home, we should share the wealth of knowledge. So we decided to send a plain text email to all of those real estate agents. Now, the email subject line was not free training, right? Because the word free is it's gonna draw some red flags. Remember, we talked about how Gmail and Yahoo and all of them, they filter, they look for signs of spam or marketing, right? What we named the email subject line was RE, as if it was a reply, see you in 30 minutes, ? Right? This is going to garner a bit of intrigue for someone who takes a look at their phone or their email inbox on their computer and it says, see you in 30 minutes. Automatically, something's going to go off in their mind, more likely than not, that what do I have going on in 30 minutes, right? And they're going to open that email. And this is just a marketing trick that is really, really great for real estate agents to have up their sleeve, because you can get really creative with these marketing emails. So have fun with your subject line. I wouldn't say be deceiving, right? Because we weren't lying when we said see you in 30 minutes, because when we sent the email out, it was 30 minutes before this was going to start, right? And we really were asking, will we see you in 30 minutes, right? It's just about getting creative with your email subject line. So have fun with it, come up with different things. And then after you're all done, right? I'll just put that here. See you in 30 minutes, right? Now you would just scroll down and you would hit schedule. And then after you hit that schedule button, you are all done, right? In a nutshell, that is how you would create an e-blast and send it with kvCORE. So that being said, I'm so happy that everyone is still here. Thank you. Like, I don't take your attention lightly in the fact that you've sat through this training with me, and I hope that I've kind of opened your eyes to, or taught you a new skill or anything like that, like just to be able to bring you all value. It really, really means a lot. So thank you so much for staying throughout the duration of the training. If anyone has any questions, put it in the chat box or raise your hand. Let's see, got a new message. All right, so I see here, Amanda is asking, not me, Amanda, another Amanda. There's always another Amanda in the room. I've had that since I was a kid. So I'm a brand new agent. Should I only send emails to people who opt in to a mailing list, or start sending to my friends' email list? My team has an email list, but then it would come from the team, not me individually. So Amanda, truth be told, I would highly recommend that any real estate agent out there, no matter how sincere and wholeheartedly you feel about your team, you should generate your own business. You should create your own email list, because life has a way of catching us by surprise, and you never know what might happen. And I'm not saying that, you know, your real estate team might let you down. It might just be that your team leader wants to retire, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh shit, where do we go? Kind of thing, right? It might be that you change your mind about the organization that you're part of. You want to make sure that you're building your own business, right? So first things first, definitely send your own emails, right? Don't just send from the team. Secondly, I 100% would recommend, Amanda, that you actually send emails to your friends. Absolutely. In the beginning of this training, we mentioned one way to build your email list is to actually export your list of friends from Facebook and LinkedIn. And this is a great way for you to get more emails and send more emails out to people. And if this is the case, if you're emailing your actual like friends and sphere of influence, old coworkers, old classmates, if this is what you're doing, a really awesome way to kind of get them involved in your business is that you contact them. In the first email you send them, you say, hey, I'm building my real estate business. If you know someone who's looking to buy or sell, please forward this email, right? Or put me in contact with them. And that's a really great way to get things started and start to generate more emails, and also let your friends know that you appreciate them giving you referrals. Right? So I hope that answered your question. 100% definitely start sending emails to your list of friends. And keep in mind, don't get so offended if friends actually wind up unsubscribing. I've had this happen to me. Alex has had this happen to him. It's just going to happen. A lot of people who aren't business owners, they don't get how much that can burn the heart. So try not to get offended or take it personally. It's definitely something that you can maybe comedically bring up over drinks with a friend, like, why'd you unsubscribe to my email? Don't you know that hurt my heart? But definitely don't make a big stinker about it. It's going to happen when you email friends and family. They don't necessarily get it or how important it is to you. So any other questions? Anyone? All right, well, if there are no more questions, I just want to put out there that this training is brought to you by Design for Realtors. It is an e-commerce website for real estate agents where we sell super cool real estate apparel, daily planners, action plans. There are also trainings available for watching within the blog section. We have the 200K Real Estate Agent Success Formula. If you're interested in that, you can get 4-pack of Real Estate Agent Planner Pros. We have how to generate leads on Instagram for free, which was a training that I did in the past. There's lots of value. There's even a full training on hard money lending. And these trainings are a full hour long, so you're getting a lot of value with them. Any other questions? Let's see. All right, so if you haven't already, make sure that you register for the other trainings that we have going on, and feel free to reach out to me in the DMs on Instagram. I am happy to help you with any individual real estate questions that you have, marketing, branding, advertising, all that jazz. I'm here to be a resource to you, not just someone sharing photos on Instagram and not just doing real estate. So thank you guys so much for being here, for attending this training. I can't wait to do some of the others. We have a lot of people actually signing up for these, especially after we sent it to the list of 13,000 agents that we have for Design for Realtors. So I'm super excited, but keep in mind that we can only have 100 people inside of the trainings. So first come, first serve. So make sure that when you register for these trainings that you're actually going to attend and that you're actually going to attend on time. So just make sure to be on time or even early if you can. I'm going to try to be in these things early as well. And Alex is also hosting trainings as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I will see you on Instagram or Facebook, wherever we have each other. And if we don't, let me know that you were in this training and I will go check you out. All right, thank you. All right, let me just stop this.